Hello class and welcome to Psych 4410 at the University of Prince Edward Island, Existential Phenomenological Psychology. My name is Dr. Neil Soggie and I will be your instructor for this course. This course is about the subjective world, the lived world of the person, and how we can critically examine it, how philosophy and psychology have worked together to better help people to formulate questions about their life, to understand their lived experience, as well as approaches of therapy to help people discover meaning even in the deepest of sufferings. Within this class, we will be inviting you to explore a little bit of your own lived experience and questions and guide you through those to come up with some interesting answers. This is an online course where you will be encouraged to engage with your peers through weekly posts. There are a couple of texts that are required. The first one is Logotherapy, Viktor Frankl, Life and Work, and the second one is Phenomenological Psychology, Theory, Research, and Method, as well as other course materials that will be available on the UPEI Moodle course site. If you wish to contact me, you can do so through email, and you can find my email address on the syllabus, course outline. Unfortunately, I am not on campus, and so office visits will not be available. However, we can arrange a virtual meeting through Zoom if any issues cannot be resolved through email. Let's take a little bit of time and explore the course schedule and what you can expect within this course. Within the first week, we will simply introduce you to phenomenology and the basics of phenomenology, as well as the expectations of this course. The second week, we will explore ancient views of meaning-making and how different cultures have used the perspective of wise living in order to guide people through their life struggles. In week 3, we will engage in the history of phenomenology and delve into the many deep thinkers that form the foundation of that philosophical school. We will then move on to the history of existentialism, which draws largely upon phenomenology. Hence, we can consider existentialism as a subset of phenomenology. And then in week 5, we will explore how existential phenomenological research has developed into a field of its own and how we can kind of understand and draw different perspectives on that. We'll then take a little bit of time for a break in week 6. And then in week 7, we will continue on by delving into the more practical side of existential approaches, by looking at the themes of existential psychology and how we can kind of explore those and how they are very interesting and touch on each one of our lives. We'll then take a little bit of time in week 8 to move a little bit from theory to practice with the continental European thinkers as well as the British approaches. And so this will be exploring people like Mehter Boss, Ludwig Binswanger, Ernesto Spinelli, and Emmy van Derzen. In week 9, we will again explore the move from theory to practice within existential psychology, where we'll look primarily at the American existential humanistic approaches, inspired largely by people like Rollo May, Irvin Yalom, and Paul Wong. And then in week 10, we will take a few weeks and explore someone who I think is one of the most interesting figures in this field, someone who wasn't too deeply delving into the philosophy, but very intuitively came to some very clear lessons about meaning in life, and contributed a lot, I think, to existential therapeutic approaches, Viktor Frankl. So we'll look at Viktor Frankl's life in week 10. In week 11, we will explore some of the themes of his therapeutic approach, logotherapy. And then in week 12, we will again visit and celebrate a little bit of Viktor's life and how his legacy has left its mark upon the field. In week 13, in concluding, I will be inviting you to submit a personal heuristic assignment. We'll explore a little bit about what that means, where you will delve into some question about who you are or some lived experience within your own life, so that you can apply some of the interesting approaches and ideas that we have within existential phenomenological psychology into your own life. And I think that's part of the real value of this course, is that it is always going to be something that you take with you, that you use every single day for the rest of your life, and will hopefully build within you some resilience and understanding, not only for yourself, but for other people as well. Now, let's take a little bit of time and look at some of the assignments for this course. The first thing you will be invited to do, at least in the first half of the course, is to engage in weekly discussions. Now, this is really kind of for those that really want to strive to their peak excellence and be honed by the gifts of their peers. So each week, students will engage in weekly discussions through the online course site, and they will explore different scenarios and post their responses, and then give their evaluation and critique to at least 2 peer posts each week. This way, not only are you thinking about your own experience in relation to the question that is posed, but you are also engaging in the lived experiences of others and learning from those and being able to engage in those, respond to those, because I think all of that is important. Each one of us does not have a full grasp or full breadth of experience, however rich our life experiences are. And so we need to draw on the experiences of others within our life as well. And that will be something that you will certainly be doing within your discussions. And if you wish to delve into this more, there is more information on the course assignment guide and assignment rubric document that is to be found on Moodle. Now, the overall value of this assignment is 20% of your final mark. Then every few weeks we will engage in some quizzes, and these will be timed quizzes that will be available for you to complete within a week period. So you can organize your week fairly flexibly, and that's a blessing, I think, in many ways. And you will be covering all of the material up to that point. And so each one of these will be revisiting questions not only from the first few classes of the course, because those form a strong foundation for the course, but the more recent lectures as well. And so we have our first quiz, which will be due on September 22nd. Our second quiz is due on October 21st. And our third quiz is due on November 17th. Each one of those quizzes is worth 20% of your mark. And then finally we have a personal heuristic assignment. Now, there is a researcher by the name of Clark Moustakis who developed an approach that is very phenomenologically and existentially aligned, known as heuristic research. And what I want you to do is use Clark Mustaka's steps in heuristic research, where each student will explore a personal question. So the question should be something that is lived and important to you. And it can be something as simple as, who am I? Or what makes me happy? Or something else within your lived experience. Now, I'm just going to call this the who am I assignment, just for sake of convenience, but you don't have to explore the question, who am I? You can explore some other specific lived experience that is important to you. Now, something I do encourage you to do is to keep it positive. This is something that you will be invited to delve into very deeply, and so try to think of some positive aspect of your life and explore it more in some way. Something like, who was I meant to be? Or who do I choose to be? Or what do I choose to have as a role in my life? Or how will I choose to commit to someone in a relationship? Anything along those lines is fine, as well as the old standbys, who am I, what makes me happy, and so on. Now, each student will spend, at the very least, hopefully you begin before the second half of the semester, but for sure in the second half of the semester you will begin exploring this personal question, and you will submit your answer through a presentation that will be shared with the rest of the class. Now, you can do this as a video, or you can do this as some kind of creative project. You can write a research paper, maximum of 15 pages. If you write the research paper, I would like it also to be APA 7th edition professional formatting. Or you can do a creative synthesis that best fits the answer that you came up with. Now, please note that if you do a creative project, that it should be accompanied by a short paper of 3 to 5 pages that documents your heuristic process and what kinds of ideas came out of that process to form the basis of your creative synthesis, creative project for your personal heuristic assignment. And there are some other details for this assignment that are available again in your course guide and assignments rubric document. This assignment is worth the final 20% of your course and is due on November 28th. Now, there are some other policies and procedures that I do encourage you to read through in the course syllabus. And I think that it's really important that we just remind ourselves that living is about simply showing up and engaging in the process. And as we engage in the process, we can trust the process to encourage us to grow and develop and change and learn. And so each week, although this is a very flexible course, I do encourage you to, on a weekly basis, engage in the readings, engage in the lectures, engage in the discussion groups, and don't miss a week. Because if you miss a week, you fall behind, you lose your rhythm, and it's just a little bit harder to get back in. So for your own sake of success, I encourage you to continue that process. And I look forward to getting to know each one of you a little bit more. You take care. Bye-bye.